You can still count.
Hey, we're back. There we go. How are you, lads?
Thanks, lost his head.
I have to say, we're all looking well. Tank's got a bit of a bronzy going on. Jim's got a Jim, hold on a sec.
What, lad?
The top button. Talk to us about the top button being done.
Don't come to me. Tank's already been ripping me for this. Don't come to me, you two stiff as a board fucking scousers for fashion advice.
Hey, I used to try a few things back in the day, Jim.
I know. And
mate, I've seen some of your pictures in the WhatsApp group, mate. Don't, because I'll put them on
Twitter. Jay used to wear t-shirts that showed more cleavage than Jennifer Lopez, lad.
Yeah. To be fair, it's funny. I used to come out like when I first moved to Ireland. I was still in probably Geordie Shore mode, so so I had like the low cut tops, and I remember going to a party. Yeah, I used to cut them to make them extra low. Yeah, pure like you could see me navel tanking,
more boobage. He used that tape to stop him showing his nipples.
Tape. Yeah, I remember I came over to Ireland and I went to a house party when I first moved over here with me low cut top, and I had a scarf on. And then one of my Irish mates come over. He went, "Are you hot or cold? Like which one? Which one is it?
Where are you?
Where are you?"
He stole that scarf off me. I had that scarf early doors, very Jude Law, Russell Brand-esque.
Yeah, but you can't call it Jude Law or Russell Brand. Like other people have got to say.
Nah, this was before them. This was before them. Before they were famous. I'll get the date of it. I've got a picture of it. I'll get the date of it.
So you're saying.
What was the other thing that he said he created, Tank?
Turtlenecks. Turtlenecks.
But it was already out with Adidas.
That was it, yeah. Created
yeah. Oh no, on Copers, I invented him on Copers.
You never just leave it next, Jamie.
I did. Turtlenecks I brought back as well.
Fucking Steve Jobs here.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Tank, tell us about your holiday, mate. You've obviously been away. You're looking well. You've been earning millions in Christmas. You must be a billionaire now at this point.
Probably in the next 18 months, yeah.
Fucking hell. I'll tell you what. Taking over the world. Where have you been, mate?
The holiday was lovely. We just fancied something different because we always go to Dubai, don't we? But we just went to Rhodes. I mean, it was when the fires were on as well, but our side of the island was fine. But what a lovely place. Really, different. Absolutely lovely. Went to the old town all the time, so thoroughly enjoyed it. There was only me, Sharon, Frankie and Millie went because obviously Jack's season started, so we tied it in with him. He was away pre-season and we just went over there for the week, but really enjoyed it.
Good stuff. Glad to hear it. Jimbo, you've been away yourself as well, mate.
I was in Rhodes with Tank. Have you not seen the pictures? Me and Tank ripping up Rhodes Old Town.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine Tank's face if you did walk into a bar, though?
Mate, I was in Rhodes as well, but imagine if I walked into the Old Town, there was Tank with his fucking big old crusty toe flip-flops on, his vest.
You sent a picture of your toes in the WhatsApp group.
I'll give you that.
They were absolutely disgraceful, mate.
Yeah,
they look like big, horrible, long Frankfurters, your toes.
They're really bad. Really bad. I'll give you that. They are really, really bad. But yeah, Rhodes, mate. Nothing. Nice and quiet. Loads of Scandinavians there, mate. Saw the best football I've ever seen. 12-year-old.
Don't start again with his fucking Australian Scandinavian accent,
mate. 12-year-old Manny, shout out to Emmanuel from Sweden, playing football barefoot, just absolutely ripping blokes for fun.
You weren't getting into arguments, Jim, because you are prone to an argument.
Told you, did I not tell you I got into a fight?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Did I not tell you?
No, you were Emmanuel.
No, not with a 12-year-old kid.
Fuck, 12-year-old kid done him.
Go on, Jim.
Yeah, got into a fight, mate. Archie was pure panicking.
So you did it in front of your kid just to make it extra bonus points?
Did it in front of a lot of kids, yeah.
Why, mate? You're getting worse as you're getting older.
Red mist. I did a U and the red mist came down.
I don't get red mist anymore. I'm dead chilled out these days.
Nah. You got sent off in the last 3 games. It was exactly that. Someone just did something and my head was gone.
Well done, Jimbo, lad. You're meant to be on holiday, relaxing. You know what I mean?
On holiday. I had to go apologise to some Swedish guy.
Oh no, you apologised as well after.
I did only because Archie was like pure panicking, going, "Daddy's looking for you. He's looking for you." I'm like, he's not. But just to make him feel better, I went and apologised.
Good man.
No, you didn't get swatted, mate. I'm sorry about that.
To be honest with you, he wasn't. He was a big guy as well, not tall, but quite big, like. But he shit it. He didn't want. He didn't want the smoke. He didn't want the smoke off the English.
Fucking Jude Laurie.
Spaghetti arms, looking Jimmy Mack from England. He didn't fancy it. He knew I got the reach.
Yeah, he heard about that time you got involved in a fight for me, Jim, and you wound that punch up for about 25 minutes and then missed.
My reputation comes with me, even to roads.
So I have to say, Jimmy, you made me laugh because obviously we all talk in the WhatsApp group. And Jimmy said years ago, he's like, Jamie would be the type to have one of those gender reveal parties. I was like, no way, not me.
We talked about it on the podcast. You
did we?
Publicly said on this podcast you would not have a gender reveal.
I still believe that I wouldn't have a gender reveal party. However,
tell the story and then let everyone else decide.
There has been a small event during my holiday where I proposed to my missus, who is now my fiance. Delighted. So Tank went, hold on, Jamie. Jamie, I thought you were already married. In fact, I think you are.
I messaged you, didn't I, in the WhatsApp group, mate, is that like, because I thought...
Is that an old video?
I don't know what I thought. He doesn't have him. Like, he's been married in this. I was like, are you married? And you were like, no. I was like, oh, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, I basically went the full hog, did a big romantic gesture on the beachfront. Family were all in on it, and I organised for professional photographers to turn up about 5 minutes after she was hopefully going to say yes.
All dressed in white.
All dressed in white, colour coordinate. Now, in my defence, that's just romance, Jim. That's not. I don't think it's staged. Not like a gender reveal thing.
Mate, it's staged. You staged it all. You recorded it all.
Timeless memories.
It was on every single social media outlet available. I bet it's even on Threads, and no one even goes on Threads.
In my defence, I wanted my family from all over the globe to be able to enjoy the moment with us. What do you reckon about that? Is that all right?
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can. Go on, and then we'll talk about some footy. Go on.
Do you regret? I'll try and say it properly. Do you?
You're going to say flip flops. You're going to say flip flops
because you look like a hobo.
Yeah, a little bit. You know
what, mate? If you had some nice little boat shoes with that outfit, you would have looked perfect and it'd be timeless. Instead, you're on one knee, your flip-flops bent in half, like all bent because it's fucking folded up. You look like, I thought, you're going to regret them flip-flops.
Yeah, do you know what? Of all the things, like everything went perfect. That was, I do agree, yeah, probably a slight mishap. But I'm not going to take grief from you sitting there with your top button on the top. You must be roasting.
I'm all right, but I'm hot because are you telling everyone else what you asked me to be?
Oh, go on, Jimbo.
Fucking groomsman, aren't I? / joint best man, but his brother doesn't know that yet.
No, what you are, you're an afterthought, mate. You're not the best man, you're the afterthought.
Joint best man when Paul finds out when he listens to this podcast later.
Yeah. No, it'd be my pleasure to have you up there with me, Jimbo. Tank, you're not a groomsman, but you'll come to the stag, won't you?
Yes, mate, I'll be
there. If
there.
he's coming, I'm not going. No fucking way.
That's why he wants me to come.
That's exactly it. Right, lads, football. Let's get into the football because talking of like plot twists, right? I think there's one coming on this season's podcast, and I didn't see it coming. You two are notorious for button heads. In fact, our listeners actively encourage Tank and Jimmy to argue. Whereas I feel like you two may be becoming more aligned, and it actually might be me and Tank that might butt heads on a few topics. And one of those is our beloved Liverpool. So we're going to start off with Liverpool-Chelsea, right? Because there's been a lot of madness that's happened in football generally, obviously with the influx of money from Saudi Arabia. But obviously then looking at Liverpool a little bit closer to home in terms of the transfer market, Chelsea looks like, now I haven't checked Twitter, I've been out at my son's training, but they've obviously took a couple of Liverpool's big targets.
And another one.
Why? What else have I missed?
They've got the kid from Palace.
Well, no, Liverpool went after that Elise.
No, but I'm saying Chelsea's got them. So it's like they just.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can compete with Chelsea. And at this minute, they're just signing whoever they want, when they want, for how much they want.
Well, let's come to you first, Tank, right? Because you've been very vocal in your discomfort with Liverpool's ownership and their inability or perceived inability to spend. Liverpool, look, Carragher said it last night on Monday Night Football. It's been a bit of a mess. I don't personally think it's too much of a mess, and I'll give my context as to why. But what have you made of the transfer dealings from Liverpool and ultimately Chelsea? Because Chelsea seems to be building some squad.
I think if you just look at Liverpool as a whole, Jamie, for me, the last 3 years have been absolutely disastrous from top to bottom with the club. But this is not, I know that we've butted heads in the WhatsApp group, but it's not a case of me being anti-Liverpool. It's a case of me looking at a club who was the pinnacle of European football, the top team in Europe, the top team in England, and the model what every single European giant was saying, we must follow that model. Now, the wheels have come off, but I think the wheels have come off in a monumental way. And I'm genuinely, majorly concerned about Liverpool this season as a top 8 side. That is the God's honest truth. Now, you might think I'm mad there. Liverpool are decimated in the midfield area, absolutely decimated. They've lost some serious, experienced players. And it's not just the midfield there. Look, they've signed McAllister, and the other boy who looks a good player. I thought McAllister looked great in parts on the ball. He's such a cultured player to watch, playing in the completely and utterly alien position. But I'll come to that in a sec. It's not just the midfield area, Jamie. Our back four is completely and utterly shot to pieces. Virgil, and I'm going to say on this podcast now, Virgil van Dijk, as an elite defender, is finished. He is finished.
Jesus, he's not messing up.
I'm talking elite. I'm talking the absolute elite pinnacle, which he was for 2 seasons. He's finished. Teams are targeting him. Conte, for me, is you cannot rely on that lad as a footballer. Conte, what can I? You know what I mean?
So hold on, right? 11 minutes into the new season, we've had an outrageous headline and a wrong name already.
Oh, listen. You can't rely on him. He's completely and utter a liability. He's either wonderful or he's absolutely horrendous. There's no 6 or 7 out of 10s with him. It's either a 9 or a 2 out of 10. Robbo, absolutely idolised him as a left back. He's an absolute dream. Lad, he's been shocking for 18 months and there's no signs of him getting back. Trent took all of the grief last season. Trent turned the season around towards the last 10 games and was absolutely outstanding. Robbo's got away with murder. Robbo has been shocking for 18 months, defensively and forward going. He used to get in an attacking position and he'd whip balls in with centre-forward streams. 8 out of 10 of his crosses now, a guy that go behind, over, deep, long. He's gone. So it's bigger than just the midfield area. Now, I've been button heads with you, Jamie, because I'm like, so where's the signings coming from? You said to me they'll get a midfielder and 2 or 3 more come in. We won't. And this is just my opinion. I think that the Caicedo transfer saga was smoke and mirrors from the owners. That boy's come out. Have you seen the Brighton CEO's brilliant, that Fred Barbett's brilliant interview? He just said, look, from day one, Caicedo said it's London or nowhere. That's the Brighton CEO. He said, we agreed the deal. And he said, his agent to this team, it's London or nowhere. But Liverpool still pursued the deal. Why? That would not happen with that Edwards kid involved. Since he's gone, we've gone. That wouldn't happen. He'd negotiate with the player and then he'd go to find out whether the player wants to come. Yes, okay, let's do the deal. And then all of a sudden, without any, it just come up, Liverpool have done transfer, done, bang, player signed. And I just think with a shit show. And the kid from Southampton, we all said it. We spoke in the WhatsApp group. He was going to fuck Liverpool off at their first opportunity. Why wouldn't you? A 19-year-old kid, which I think he would have been a good sign and a big ass with the world at his feet. I understand that. You take pleasure in telling Liverpool to go fuck yourselves.
So, I'm going to jump in, Jim, right? Because so a couple of things, right? I understand what you're saying about Michael Edwards. he's been brilliant at Liverpool, but we can't sit here and pretend that he was faultless. Like, think of the Virgil van Dijk saga. Like, he literally had to go groveling back to Southampton off the back of our approach there. So none of the past, we can't rewrite the past. He's been brilliant, but he also made mistakes. I think Liverpool, I read that interview watched that interview with the Brighton CEO, and I actually thought that it made Liverpool seem like Chelsea weren't getting the deal done. There was a deal there to be done. There's clearly and I sent you the interview with Rory Smith, who said that there'd been encouragement from Casado's camp for Liverpool to go and do a deal. So Liverpool, in the background, went and stumped up the cash. Brighton accepted the deal. Now, Casado's camp have then come back and said he wants Chelsea. Now, in Liverpool's defence, they've tried to act like the big boys. We always talk about them showing ambition. In my view, that if they've got encouragement from a player, there's no way a club the size of Liverpool are lodging a world or a record fee without having some encouragement from the player.
Desperation kicked in.
I don't think it's desperation. I think they've spotted an opportunity to try and gazump a deal and get a player whose representatives have said we'd be interested. Turns out that maybe they use Liverpool as a bit of a pawn to get more dough. There's talk of him wanting to go to London. I don't buy into the London factor as much anymore, personally. I think they've probably got a big hefty whack of agent fees, and they can put up a picture of Casado in a Chelsea top, and it all looks like this was it was all his dream to play there. I think Liverpool have tried to be a bit cheeky and come in and steal a player, and it went wrong. I think the issue for me is probably more, and Carragher said this last night, and I didn't necessarily agree. There was rumours that Liverpool were prepared then to stump up 60 million for Lavia. That wasn't the case. They didn't do that. They actually didn't move from their valuation of, I think it was high 30s, early 40s for Lavia. And they didn't revisit that fee. So they've decided on a fee, which, to be fair for me, 50 million, 60 million for Lavia is a lot of dough. You've said it yourself, Tank. He's a real talent, and he could go on. I absolutely expect him to go on and be a real dominant force. But if you're asking him to be the mainstay of Liverpool's midfield as the six, I think you're asking a lot, and 60 million is a lot of money. So Liverpool haven't moved on their valuation. What I would say is it's just all unnecessary noise. It looks messy. I agree with you. It seems like, from the outside looking in, Jurgen Klopp has a lot of control now. Liverpool were the envy of clubs across Europe because of their transfer committee, their ability to use data to find the next big thing. Liverpool aren't finding the next big thing now. They're trying to get proven quality. And what comes with proven quality? Dough. And like you've said a million times on this podcast, Tank, Liverpool don't have the dough. If we're going to try and compete for the most obvious signings for the big money, Liverpool are going to fall flat on their face. We don't have the money to do that. We operate on that money ball type approach where it's we buy low, sell high. So Liverpool are in a little bit of flux now. Jurgen Klopp has been given a lot of power. That, reading between the lines, is perhaps where some of the data guys have left. Maybe they didn't feel that they had the control that they once, and that is a problem. What I'd say now is, whilst it all looks messy, I still expect Liverpool to go out and buy definitely one, if not two midfielders, and I expect them to get a centre-back. And if they don't, Tank, I'll sit here with you and I'll throw tomatoes, I'll go mad, I'll do the whole, well, not Arsenal fan TV shite, but I will be absolutely raging, because Liverpool on the cusp of, I don't want to say immortality, but they pretty much were by challenging for all four trophies and coming within a whisker of doing so. They're now in danger of falling behind a lot of clubs, because there's a lot of good clubs in the Premier League now. You look at the likes of Brighton, who I have huge respect for. Teams are going to be competing, and Liverpool are in danger, if they don't get this next few weeks right, of falling massively behind. Jim, what have you made of it all from an outsider looking in? Because you don't have a skin in the game here. It's just me and Tank.
The game. I think it's looked particularly bad for Liverpool in that there's a few things for me. The Caicedo, for me, I think someone's whispered in Liverpool's ear that the Chelsea deal isn't getting done and you can have him for this amount of money. Brighton are probably egging the agent on to get Chelsea to come back in for Caicedo, because it looked like he was, Chelsea deal went very quiet. Liverpool came in, and oh, by the way, once Liverpool make the bid, Chelsea come in with a big bucks and entice a player away. So I don't entirely hold Liverpool account to that, because I think they were led down the garden path a little bit by both agent and Brighton.
Let's not forget, Jim. Brighton said it had to be done by 12 o'clock.
Brighton will win, aren't they? They either sell him to Liverpool for 111 million or they sell him to Chelsea for 115 million. They're more likely to know that the player wanted to go to Chelsea. So if Liverpool come in with that money, Chelsea were likely to do the same. If Chelsea didn't, they sell him to Liverpool. And you'll probably get a player that might not want to be there, but they're off Brighton books and they made like a 2,000% increase on what they paid for him. So they're win-win. So I don't hold Liverpool to account on that one. The Lavia one is awful, I think, from Liverpool. You had him in the palm of your hands. You could have gone in there and got him for what they valued at. I understand that you don't always pay valuation, you haggle. But there's ways of doing it. And I don't understand the difference between 38 million to 42 million to 46 million or to the valuation of 50 million. And then you've let him go because Caicedo was then offered to you and you thought, fuck him. Caicedo deal's dead in the water and then you think, shit, it's 2 a.m. I need to take someone home. So let's go back to Lavia again. And he's gone, go fuck yourself. I found someone else.
Sounds like your university strategy.
Exactly it, mate. Well, you imagine, put yourself in his situation where they were there, they wanted you, they then decided they didn't want you, they wanted someone else, and then they've come back in for you and then decided to stump up the dough. And the team that has got a better team than you now are stumping up the dough as well. So where are you going to go? So I feel you're in a situation now. You're going to get another bloody Arthur, Mello, whatever his name is, situation where they know you need a player. You're desperate for a midfielder and you're just going to get anything that is available for a half-decent price. And you're going to be back to square one and you're probably going to go through this routine and whatnot. But for me, the biggest problem, and you'll probably, tell me the myths around it, and I know the package would be, if you had 111 million to spend plus 60 million, I know you probably wouldn't have bought both, but if you got 111 million to spend, the Bellingham deal was all but done, I heard, to Liverpool. And everyone was saying it was all but done. I get he's going to be on a lot higher wages, but he's going to surely bring in more revenue from a commercial basis. So why leave that dead in the water early doors, very early doors, didn't even make a good go at it, and then start dropping your knickers for Caicedo and then for Lavia. So I just think it's not been great from your side. And I think what you've done now, you've basically shown everyone your hand and are still trying to bluff everyone. But they all know you've got, you are bluffing because you've got the money to buy the players. So you've gone from being in a semi-decent position to lose on all fronts. And you desperately need a DM. And, I'm with you on Robbo, to be honest. I think he's more bothered about fucking getting in everyone's ear and winding people up than he is actually playing football.
Do you not think with the Robbo thing, Tank? Do you not think with the Robbo thing, because Liverpool are now trying to adopt this kind of, well, it depends whether you're in possession or out of possession, but we're obviously seeing a change in shape, system. 3-box-3 seems to be during build-up what they're adopting, and you're basically saying to Robbo, and I thought he struggled against Chelsea. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Reece James is outstanding.
Well, mate, their wing backs were unbelievable.
Yeah, both of them. I think that Chelsea are building a great squad. Let's be honest.
I said this to you last season. Chelsea will be no mugs this season. They've got quality. They've got really good quality. I thought Chilwell. I mean, I know you had to go on about Reece James. Chilwell was miles better than Reece James. Chilwell destroyed us down that left-hand side.
Mate, that finish for his goal was unbelievable.
But it's even, you look at the Sterling thing, Tank, right? Sterling looked like Sterling again.
He's got him in a system there that is working. And the issue Chelsea will have is Reece James and Ben Chilwell are made of glass. And even in the first game of the season, they've both gone off. Mm-hmm. So how long do they last? Because I think they'll be integral to that system. Because the lads that came on, obviously the new lads, they're going to take a bit of bedding in. Whereas Reece James, Ben Chilwell are, pretty much veterans of the Premier League, even though they're only both relatively young.
Jimmy, do you know the kid who was on loan from Chelsea last season, the left back, is absolutely outstanding, like absolutely outstanding. I've watched them about 7 times last season, and every time I watched them, I said to our Jack, he'll go back and start for Chelsea. He come on as a number 10 against Liverpool.
Which one?
Maddison, is it?
Oh yeah, he came on up top, didn't he? But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sure he
telling
will
you
be.
now,
But they're going to
he's not
take
going
time to
to.
bed into the Premier
No,
League,
no,
and
no.
they're
But
not Reece James and Chilwell that have got that system to an absolute T. But
just
they'll get
going
injured.
back on Chelsea, I mean, as I said, I've said this all along when they were buying last season. They will be no mugs this season. Them, if they, I'm telling you now, they will be up there. I think they will be up there because you've got a manager in Chelsea now. Everybody likes him. I like him. I like listening to him. I loved watching his Tottenham sides. He will have them eating out the palm of his hands. Training to be enjoyable every day. He'll be playing a certain way, which players will want to play. You'll have every player, wanting to play for him. Chelsea will be a force this season, boys. They're going to be right up there. They will be right up there. Because let's get it right, that squad is phenomenal. It's young and it's got so much talent and ability. It's untrue. But then you go back to Liverpool for me, and it's like I've got to start looking at Klopp and saying, why are you playing like Gakpo as a central midfield
I
player?
didn't get that at
It's like
all.
we're just trying, but we've got Chelsea away. It's a huge game. The Casado, was on everyone's mind. Play people where they know where to play. I mean, he's. You've got to probably say he was surprised most towards the last 5 or 10 games of the season. He really come into his role in that Firmino role. And then you're putting him in a 3 in midfield with 2 other players who don't normally play there. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, what the fuck? When I seen the side, I was like, that looks really attacking. And then when I seen he was playing there, I'm thinking, fucking hell, really? You're playing a winger or a number 10 as a 3 against these?
So, I think you're seeing in the game itself the results of that, because Liverpool, I think we need to embrace ourselves. If we don't get a 6 or a controller, it's going to be games of basketball. It's going back to when Klopp first come in, that end-to-end stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, Liverpool could have been out of sight in the first 15, 20 minutes, just like they used to do to teams. They could have been two goals up, maybe more early on. But then what you saw then is the pendulum completely swing. Liverpool got a bloody nose from the equaliser, and they just could not control games. Now, that's a worry. I also felt like Liverpool finished quite strong as well, to be fair. Last 15 minutes, I thought Liverpool were good. But all things considered, I know you were quite critical of them, Tank. Surely, Jim, a 1-1 away at Chelsea, first game of the season, obviously a lot of things to improve, but that's not a bad result.
It's not a bad result given how we saw Chelsea play. But going into the game, you see that, Chelsea obviously didn't perform how they did last year. On hindsight, it's not a bad result because Chelsea looked really good. Really good. But I think it was just the manner and the way that's going into the game with the transfer sagas. I think there's just too many things that aren't on Liverpool's side that sort of outweigh actually, because the performance wasn't great. You've probably got away with a 1-1 as opposed to, it was a deserved 1-1. So, yeah, I think it was just more than the football in the way for Liverpool at the minute. If it was just the football to talk about, you'd be all right. But at the minute, there's too much outside of the football that are influencing the actual football on the pitch.
For me, there's more questions again than answers for Liverpool. You're looking at it and you're like, it's so easy to get at us. One ball takes out our whole team. It's like they're in. One ball over the top, they're in on goal. And the other concern, quickly before I know you're looking to move on, Jamie, is my major concern at Liverpool, and this is a complete and utter major concern, one of the biggest worries for me for this season. We were always banded as the mentality monsters. We are weak as piss. One incident, one chance, or something goes slightly wrong in a game and we fold like a pack of cards. You can see everyone's heads like, oh, fuck, no, again. Like a chance, oh, no, another chance. And then it's like, goal. I mean, they scored and then they scored again, like seconds after. And you're like, that never happened to Liverpool. If Liverpool conceded the goal, they'd be like, bang, 10 minutes, and then they just fucking go and bombard again, and they get 2-3 goals, and they win the game 3-4-1. Now, if we can see the goal, I'm thinking this could be 4-5-6.
I agree, and it's worrying that you're looking around the pitch in those moments of, because look, we've all played the game. You will go through difficult spells, especially, and I think the modern day fandom these days, there's a reluctance to give credit to other teams. Like Chelsea are really good and they played really well in parts. So sometimes, a Reece James is going to beat a fullback. or a Raheem Sterling's going to make a smart run in behind. It doesn't mean you're shit. It just means that you're up against a good player. But I think what Liverpool don't have at the moment, they lack leaders. People that can control tempos of the game. And just let's say what you said there, Tank. For 10 minutes, we know what we need to do. It's bite down on the gum shield, win your battles, play percentages, get through this difficult period, and then we build ourselves back into the game. They definitely don't have that bit of steel about them, which is certainly a worry. Now, I want to move on because we've got a few more topics, right? And unfortunately, it didn't take us long into the new season before our mate VAR comes back into everybody's lips. And Jimbo, I'll be honest, mate, this could be one of the worst ones I think we've ever seen. Like I asked for people's questions on the Twitter account before we started, and there's been so many. Like G Shannon's come in, Julia's come in, Toby's come in. Who else have we got that's mentioned VAR? We've got 3 or 4 people that are mentioning VAR. Where the hell do we start with this? Because in that Manchester United game, this is nothing to do with it being Manchester United. It's just I'm getting a bit sick of watching games that are being decided by these horrific decisions. And then what you'll get at the end of it, Jim, is, yeah, we're really sorry. We got that one wrong. That referee will be banned for the next. Stop apologizing. Stop banning people for the next game and just either A, get people that are competent in their roles or just get the bloody decisions right. You've got a TV screen there. How could you not see it?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because
the decision isn't a fucking difficult one. Let's just get that right.
I'll be honest. To be honest with you, I don't think it's as clear cut as you think it is.
Oh,
look, don't get me wrong. Honestly, listen.
You're just trying to be like, look,
no, I'm not.
That
listen,
guy.
It's a penalty. I know it's a penalty, right?
So there's the end of the discussion then.
Yeah.
Thanks, lad. Moving on.
But old school, that's not even given, is it? That's just let go. And I don't know how he's come to the conclusion. Until they're put on the stand and made to explain why they've come to the decision they've come to. That's what I think it needs. The people actually in charge who are making that very decision to explain why they're making it. And look, it might not be right, but at least you're getting some sort of explanation as, well, actually, he's headed the ball and then Onana's took him out, so the ball's gone and he might have had, something along them lines where, right, well, I can understand the rationale, but I still don't agree with it.
I get what you're saying, but I get what you're saying, because we used to have it ourselves, Jim, when people would ref us, and that's some old fella in the middle of the pitch going, look, lads, give me a break. I'm doing my best. And you'd be like, yeah, fair enough. But these fuckers have got 10 cameras.
I'm not saying it's right. And all I'm saying, I think it would just help the medicine go down a tiny little bit if you knew, if you understood what it was that was making the decision.
Do you know what? I can't see it. I don't see how any explanation or to say, like Jamie, as the old school refs would say, fucking hell, lads, I'm trying my best. I don't see how that can even be brought into this. You've got 3 absolute fucking dopes who are sat in that room, who's got monitors everywhere. So I just can't fathom for the life of me how the 3 people, and the 3 people have got to agree in that room, say, yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's a fair challenge. Because I'm not being funny. If you think that, you need sacking and fucked off straight away. You know what's going to end up happening with this? It's going to go down. We're going to have another one now. We're going to have a VAR. We're going to have the fucking video assistance referee to oversee the fucking video assistance referee because they're shit. But lads, come on. You can't... Anyone who's got an even smidgen of knowledge of football or watches the game in any walk of life, it's a penalty and it's assault, and it's that clear and simple. How long are we going to talk about this fucking VAR? I
agree it's a bad decision. I'm just saying, I think if you get some sort of rationale behind it, I'm talking tiny margins. I think it might make it a little bit easier to die.
It's a bad decision on the field. You can go, that's a bad decision, that. But isn't that what VAR is meant to do? To say,
I agree, and again, I agree. But I like people to be accountable for what they are doing and explain. Doesn't mean the decision's right. Doesn't mean it is the right decision. I just think people need to be held accountable. It's a walk of life, isn't it? Most people are held accountable on a day-to-day basis, and this is what they're doing. We won't do the next 6. Well, that's fine, but we still need to know why you came to that decision. Because why won't you come to that decision the next time? I'm sure he has to explain it to other people, but we should be able to do that because we're the ones paying, hundreds of thousands of pounds to watch these games. But either way, however you sugarcoat it, it's an awful decision. VAR's rubbish, and it's just, first game in on the first weekend, can't win.
And do you know what, Tank? I was going to give a bit of credit because I actually have enjoyed Howard Webb stepping up and trying to lift the hood a little bit, with his segments with Carragher and Neville, and trying to lift the hood a little bit to show, look, this is how we work. We're trying to improve the lines of communication. It'd be interesting to see if he comes out now to explain that one. Because like Jimmy said there, accountability is key. Don't just shy away from these type of situations. Hold your hands up and go, we made an absolute bollocks of this. Like I could get my missus in and say, babe, do you reckon that's a penalty? And she'd be like, well, yeah, he didn't get the ball and he whacked him in the face. Like it's worrying. And in a strange turn of events, to sit there and watch Gary O'Neill get booked for protesting.
Oh, fuck.
So
it's the screen.
Yeah, honestly, the poor guy he's actually come out of this getting booked for pointing out. Oh, look, it's just a shame again. Wolves, I actually thought I was really impressed with him. I think he's got some lovely footballers. I actually really like Gary O'Neill as a manager. I think he did a fantastic job at Bournemouth. And it seems to be that hopefully he'll be do something similar with Wolves. They got some lovely players, and I think they were very good value for a draw last night. So it's as a manager, and a manager who's spent the time working on the patterns of play, set up for the week, to have that taken away from you, it knocks me sick. And I just hope we don't spend the whole podcast or the season spending it talking about shite decisions from VAR, and we can focus more on football. Tank, I want to stay with you because I want to talk about another thing that I decided to put on the agenda, and it'd be interesting to get both your thoughts, right? So Manchester City strolled to a win against Burnley, your son's club. I'm a big fan of Vincent Kompany. I actually love the way that he's trying to change the ethos and style of Burnley. I think he's done a fantastic job. Look, it's a tough ask for them to come up against City. They're a juggernaut. They swat anybody aside. And look, they show no signs of slowing down this season. They've got a brilliant manager. What did you make of the Pep and Haaland thing? Because it had very much Phil Brown type vibes for me. Remember back at, I think it was actually against City, was it? At the Etihad when he started bollocking the players in what's a notorious incident now on the pitch. Why are you doing that, mate? Wait 30 seconds till you get in the dressing room and then give him a bollocking. I didn't like that. It didn't sit well with me. What do you think?
And I've got to be brutally honest with you. Like, you've got to pick your fights because you're talking about like a phenomenon. You're talking about a freak of a player who will guarantee you 50 goals this season. And I just think you kind of like could be rocking the boat a little bit there. Mo Salah got taken off at the weekend and was a little bit stroppy, and there's all kinds of rumours about him. Well, yeah, he's just.
But don't get me wrong, lads. You both have played the game. If you show me a player that is happy to come off the pitch, I'll show you a loser.
I also know what I thought afterwards, and I fucking hated the manager for more than just, the next 10 minutes.
So what I'm saying is Mo Salah's done that, and he's kind of like, now there's transfer talk, there's this, that, and the other. And I'm not being funny, like, you as a manager, I don't give a fuck if you're Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp, but you've got to be a little bit careful with Haaland because he has got a buyout clause coming at the end of this season. And if you're embarrassing your big global superstar who's guaranteed you 50 goals a season, I'm telling you, you'd be fucking his age. They'd be going, oh, didn't like that. His dad don't like that. The player, is he taking the piss? You've just got to pick your fights, I think.
And I think you're right. It's how you pick your fights. You're only going to degrade somebody. Like as a man to man, don't try and mug somebody off like that in a public setting. As men, you can go away and have a conversation in private. We can say some direct things, maybe some things that each doesn't like. But then at the end of that conversation, we shake hands, we move on. We've all played football. What happens in the dressing room stays at a dressing room. I've had a cup thrown at my head from a manager once. Luckily, I managed to duck. But, these things happen. Do whatever you want in the dressing room. It's your sanctuary. These things happen. Jim, he's trying to make him look a mug there, no?
Don't agree, no. Don't agree in the slightest. I think he's just a passionate man that's got something in his mind that has annoyed him that he's probably been working on all week and he's not done. And he needed to tell him here and then. Unfortunately, the world is full of cameras and the cameras everywhere and everyone's reading into it.
It is when Pep runs up to it and fucking lifts his skirt for it.
He does, but
he's Why do
I
it?
know he does, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's that bothered because he needed to tell him what he had to tell him because he's obviously done something that he's asked him to do and he hasn't done it.
Tell him 30 seconds later.
Probably, mate, but he just, you know what these fucking, Spanish people are like. They're all passionate and
you agree with what he's done.
I don't agree with what he's done, no, but I don't think
I don't think it's this. That it's fucking scandalous. If a manager done that to me in a game, I'd be fucking having it with him on the pitch. Saying, "See me in there, you fucking prick."
Yeah, but
you
that's the problem, isn't it? Haaland's not a fucking 5'2" Scouse midget who's angry as fuck, is he? He's a machine who's refined and
about a £2.5 million 17-year-old fullback in 1996, which was a transfer record in Europe.
Oh yes, Tank, love that.
You earned about 45-50 million in today's market.
Still 5'2" and dead angry though. Still 5'2" and dead angry lad. But my point is, Haaland is not arse in one bit. He'll be annoyed. But he's really not that bothered. So I think it's just a storm in a teacup. Just as I think the Salah's a storm in a teacup.
Do you know when you think about it, it's like, why do it? Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you. And in hindsight, I bet Pep thinks exact same. But being the person that I think I know Pep is, he's they're very passionate people. And if something's annoyed him that he's been working on all week, that he's probably specifically told Haaland to either do or not to do, and he's either done it or not done it, he will need to tell him. And I get that you should probably wait 30 seconds, but you just probably had to get it off his chest and let him know that actually you need... You are?
Did he score 2 in the first half?
Yeah. You know what? Pep's a perfectionist, though, mate, and you don't win trebles by
not being... perfectionist goals. I've just gone, mate, I've just slotted 2. Get your slap head and move on. I mean, why? For me, I'm with you, Jamie, on this. I just think it's petulant from the manager doing it in front of everyone. Just, if you've got something to say, get the board out and go, listen, do this for me, please. That's what we've worked on all week. Thanks for scoring 2 goals.
Yeah, I just don't think. I feel like it's needless disrespect. I don't think it needs to.
Jamie's just us wanting City to fucking.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
2 Liverpool fans are dead mad at Pep for shouting at Haaland.
I'm telling you, Haaland's off. Pep's lost it. I'm telling you, you heard
Liverpool
it
have put £111 million bid in for Haaland.
Talking of losing, fucking monopoly money down the back of the sofa. Forest, Tank, obviously. Tough fixture, first game of the season. No more difficult place to come. You were very vocal about the fixture list for Forest. I nearly feel like it was like. Did you mention conspiracies and all sorts? I think you might have done.
Fans and whatnot.
The fixtures last season, Forest's last 6 fixtures last season was shocking. And then you're looking at the 4 fixtures this season. They got Arsenal. Is it Arsenal, City? Is it Chelsea? It's like, hang on a minute. There's a fucking Derby County fan in there doing them. There's got to be. But, I know I was travelling back from London with Jack, because Jack played Charlton away when the game was on and that. And I thought Forest, I think they've done quite well from all accounts. It's a difficult place to go first game of the season. And a 2-1 result's not the worst in the world, in my opinion. Fantastic goal. The break, the speed at which they broke Alanga. And I didn't think that, what's his face, Awamye or whatever you fucking say it up front. How'd you say it? How'd you say it?
A1E.
Dave, my mate Dave. That striker that Forest have got, Dave, he surprised me with his pace because he nearly kept up with him. But yeah, there's no shame. How are you feeling, I suppose, about the squad, how it's looking? You were bullish in your predictions for Forest last season. Are you equally as bullish this season? Yeah, but they're going to be all right anyway, because Sheffield United, Luton and Everton will go down anyway this season. So Forest will be absolutely fine. It's staying in the league again and maintaining. I thought Forest done really well last season. There's a big change over the players, number-wise last season. So they'll have a season, more experience, the younger players. They've got a good young squad. I've got no worries for Forest this season. Jimbo, I want to come to you on Harry Kane.
Yeah.
quickly, right? Because there's another topic I want to finish on. Well, wasn't going to do that topic based on how we did it. We did a podcast a couple of weeks ago that will never make the light of day, and we're going to revisit maybe some of the topics. Yeah, burned and never to be spoke of again. So I want to finish on that topic. But Harry Kane to Bayern. Is that not a bit of a mad one for you, right? I understand that he wants to win trophies. A lot of people have said, look, where's his ambition? He's after the goals record, That's more important to him than winning silverware. Look, as footballers, you want to win trophies. You want to play in the biggest competitions. I don't think that was going to happen anytime soon with Spurs. No offense, Spurs fans. The Bayern move, though, just seems weird to me. It's like when you go to PSG, you're going to rack up some domestic medals. You're probably not. I can't see them winning the Champions League personally. I know he'll get to play in the Champions League, but I don't know. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking United have obviously brought in a striker. Why have United not just fronted up the money, gone and got Kane? Kane then gets to compete in theory for trophies domestically. United are obviously in the Champions League, and he still gets to go towards that goals record, which he's obviously been after for a while. It just seems a weird one, or do you disagree?
I disagree, to be honest with you. I think the way to go into Bayern, you're going to win a Bundesliga, aren't you? That's guaranteed. Probably going to win 4. You're going to win a cup. You're going to win some trophies. So he's going to keep him warm at night, them trophies. But you say they're not going to win a Champions League, mate. There's every chance of them winning the Champions League. They've got a young team. They've now got Harry Kane, who will be their next Lewandowski for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So with bloody Musiala, Gnabry, all feeding into Kane. All he's going to have to do is just stick the ball in the back of the net, and they'll have a chance, mate. They will have a chance. They've got that Young-Min Son or whatever his name, Kim, the Kim from Napoli, the defender, going there. So they've built a really strong squad to go and win a Champions League. So the way I see it, the way Harry Kane's thinking, I think he'll go there for 4 years. Win a couple of trophies, maybe a Champions League, but if he doesn't, it's not the end of the world. He'll come back to England at about 34, and he'll still come back and break the goal scoring record because his game's not based on pace. So he'll go to someone like an Everton, he'll go somewhere and come back and score the 50, 60 goals in 4 years' time.
Premier League goals, Everton to be in the Championship then.
Well, whatever. He'll come back to a mid-table Premier League team. He'll do like a Michael Owen and even end up at United in 4 years' time, a Cavani or, as Zlatan, and I think he'll still break the goal scoring record in the Premier League. So I think if he didn't do this now, the opportunity for him to go and win them trophies, and all he would have is that goal scoring record. Whereas by doing this, I think he'll still have that chance to come and break that record when he comes back, which I think he will do when his contract's up.
Tank, please, when I ask you this question, have a think about how you're going to answer it in a suitable fashion.
Anyway, I'm logging off. And
just getting ahead of this. In no way, shape, or form do myself, Jimmy Mack, or the Boot Room podcast share this. No, look, Blake has asked a question. Asked Al Rodgers, would he go to Saudi? Would he wear the rainbow armband if he was still playing? Now, maybe focus on the Saudi bit first, because there's obviously been a huge influx of money. I didn't personally understand why Henderson got as much abuse as, look, footballers have got to look after themselves, their families. He's had an opportunity to go and earn a huge amount of dough. My personal opinion on the Henderson thing, he actually was one of the brave footballers that stepped up and was a voice for a community. And I understand that it could be deemed as hypocrisy from a lot of people, him going over there. But I also think it sets a dangerous precedent now. You're better off to not stand up and speak out in support of certain communities. Anyway, we go off on a slight tangent. There's obviously a big political background to players going over to Saudi. Given the money that's in the game, Tank, and that's being thrown around, you're a family man like all of us on the podcast. If a big offer came in for you from Saudi, would you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? It's not just the money. It's actually a stunning place to live. You have the best of everything, and you probably, these players, say Jordan Henderson was on 200 grand a week at Liverpool, he's probably on 400 or 500 grand a week at Saudi. A stunning place for his family and young kids to be brought up. Stunning part of the world. Absolutely. all day long.
He's done so well there to like keep a cap on that, Jim. What about you, mate? If you were given the
It's a
opportunity
difficult
to go,
one for me. It's a difficult one. I think what I would have to do is
Listen, just sorry, Jim. It's a difficult one for him because he's a fucking albino. They burn.
yeah, the heat's the issue. But what people don't know is my sister's gay. So my sister is married to a woman. So I'd have a conversation with her about it to make sure that she would be okay with it. And I have a lot of gay people in my family, so I'd have the conversation. If they were fine with it, then I'd go and just rinse them for the money, and then come back and give some to them. So I would, but only if they were okay with it. No, my sister, she's dumb as fuck anyway, so she wouldn't even understand what was the question was anyway.
give her 100 grand, lad, she'll be delighted.
Yeah, here's $500,000. Here's a week's wage. Don't worry about it.
Lads, that's our first podcast done. Back in the back of the net. It's been far too long. Did you enjoy that one, Jimbo?
I loved it, mate. We've got to do some predictions, I think, at some point. And is there any chance of getting Tank to try and say the guy's name from Liverpool, the new sign in the midfielder? Any chance?
Yeah, go on, Tank. Have a go at that.
On, slobber over your mic.
No, I can't even say. I don't even know his name. Can't
Steve.
say it. Big Darren.
Dom.
Big Darren will do. Big Dom. Big Dom.
Dom.
Something in it. Yeah, I can't say it.
Go on, go again.
What's his name?
I don't know his name myself.
Zabozlai.
Oh, we'll be all right with that. I just think about Jimmy with his Bozai.
I knew you were going to say.
There you go. Just remind me of Jimmy Bozai. Sablozai.
And lads, by the way,
Bozai.
Talking about predictions, I was
far
out.
Remember when Tank said Wolves would be in the top 4?
So talking of predictions, what happened with the? I was far away ahead of you
I
two,
won.
I think.
I won.
No, you didn't win. Nothing,
I won
Jim.
the predictions, and I won the Boot Root podcast fantasy football league.
You didn't.
If you remember, he was cheating relentlessly, and I had it written down. He never said that, and he was giving himself like 10 points.
He was cheating.
Prove it.
He was cheating, wasn't he?
Prove I didn't win both.
So, yeah, we won't. There's no money or shaving heads or any forfeits with this, but dead quick, top 4. Tank, who's your top 4?
My top 4 this season is City to win it, Arsenal, Chelsea, and I'm going to go with United.
No, he's got Liverpool at 13th. So,
Jamie, it's just listen. If Liverpool had to sign Caicedo and they'd got a centre half and another full back, I'd have gone. Liverpool would be right in the mix for Champions League. They're nowhere near City anymore, which breaks me out to say because we run them that close for that long. But unfortunately, mate, investment. So yeah, I don't see top 4 for Liverpool at all.
Jimbo.
City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea. Remember when I said Newcastle would finish in the top 4 last year or top 6?
He does this all the time. He makes loads of horrendous shouts and then bubbles up one that he got.
Podcast it's
recorded. I said Newcastle have finished top 4 or top 6 or top 8 or top 10.
Mate, I'll get the recording up. Don't you worry.
One of them's right.
Jamie, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I'm changing. So I'm going City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Newcastle. I forgot about you.
What? Mate, just fucking come and copy me homework, mate. What do you want the answers?
Listen, you know when you watch Newcastle the other day, you know when you see a team and we've played in teams.
I didn't watch it to be fair.
Momentum, and you just no matter what, they're winning games and the way they're playing. I think they'll have another great season. Them fuckers.
I really want to try and get Liverpool in the top 4 here, lads. I really do. I'm going to go
just as
City.
Stupid as Tank saying Wolves were in the top 4 last year.
I'm going to go City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea.
You've got Liverpool 3rd.
I have, mate. Yeah, I just want to let me do it.
We've got Virgil van Dijk at the back.
I just feel like
shit anyway, by the way.
In my little Liverpool bubble, I reckon we're going to pull a couple of rabbits out the hat in the next couple of weeks, and the mighty Reds are gonna tear it up. I think, I'll go with that. I've forgotten what I said. What did I say? City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea,
Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Right, lads. Tank, your curry must be there by now, is it?
Listen, I'm just messaging him there. Why don't we get Mickey Adams on a podcast?
Yeah,
Just
if he's up for it. If he's up, would he be up for it? Yeah.
Yeah. He will hammer you, honestly.
He won't hammer me, lad. He'll be
Yeah.
trying to sign me. He will. He'll be signing me up.
He only liked aggressive players, mate. He'd love
So-
to.
Well, you not hear about me fighting Greece? I'll fight.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and then you never actually fought. Then you went to fight him to say, "Sorry, mate, don't hit me the next day."
Yeah, Mickey Adams, absolutely. You also said Brian Dean had come on as well, didn't you, Tank?
I'm with Brian Dean tomorrow in Leeds. I'm going down to see him.
Yeah, ask him, see if he'd be up for it.
He'll get on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Nigel James will come on it. Mark Crossley will come on it. Chris Kirkland might come on it. Loads.
Yeah,
I might have loads of guests this season.
Oh, look at that. The boot room is going places, boys. Right,
yes.
with that, I'm going to go and get some dinner. So, everybody.
Boys.
What's
I'm
that?
not going yet.
No, we're not going yet. I haven't finished. I was just about to do a nice finish there.
It's been a while.
His curry's here and his head's gone. Right, with that, Tank's going for his curry. I've got to go and have me dinner. Jim's going to go and undo his top button because his head's about to pop off. I hope you all enjoyed the boot room being back. We will be with you now for the remainder of the season. The plan is to do it at the start of each week. It might be a few moving parts with lads' footballs and works and all that, but plan is to be back now each week. Please keep your support coming. Send us in any questions that you have. If you've listened to the podcast and you enjoyed it, send a link on to a mate and just keep supporting and spreading the word. It really does help us push this thing on a little bit because we got a good bit of momentum last season. So let's see if we can keep it going. And everyone that listens, I hope you've all been looking out after yourselves over the summer. And we will be back with you again next week on the Boot Room Podcast. All the best.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.